Hey everyone, this is Leland Bartlett with Ripboard Training Consulting coming at you with a new video. And today we're going to talk about my favorite text editor, EditPad Pro. And it puts editors like Notepad and WordPad to shame, its robustness in it. I've used it for about 10 years now. We're going to be looking at the current version 8.2, which is a demo or evaluation version. It actually comes with everything usable except for the spell checker and some customizations that you can do. But everybody I've shown this to, especially technical folks, love the text editor and the features it has available. So let's jump right into it, and I hope you find this video enjoyable, informational, and usable. Well, one of the first things that I really liked about EditPad Pro is being able to open multiple files in the same application. So I don't have to open up, like in Word, you have to open up Word if you want to open multiple files. You have to open up the file, then the application starts, open up the file, the application, then you have to Alt-Tab between them. Check this out. We're going to open up these 4 files, and look what happens to them. Now, the other thing I do like, too, is these tips, I don't turn them off, because often what they do is they inform me of something that I haven't thought about or haven't looked at in the application, because there is a ton of features in here, and you'll see it as we go. So a lot of times I'll just look at them and take a quick glance, and if they sound interesting to me, I'll go check them out. But anyway, back to the file programs here. Check this out. So I was able to open all 4 of those files in the same application. I don't have to Alt-Tab or anything, just switch between them, which is very, very cool. And the other couple things that I do like about them is, check this out. I'm just going to make some basic changes here, nothing to be worried about or anything like that, but check out when I go up to File, there is a Save All. That means every file that I changed in the tabs, if I want to save them, boom, I save them. I don't have to save them one by one. And then, once I'm done with these, check this out. I can close all, or even all but the current one, but I like to close all. Boom, they're all done. Okay, another cool thing that you can do with multiple open files is actually save them together as a unit, and that's under the project. Come up here and you can say new project, save project as, depending on where you're at, but we're going to say save project as. Let me back up for a second. That's what up here is. This is the project, and these are the files associated with it. So I can go up here to project, choose save as, and just call them my random files project, and put them on my desktop there too, and click save. And then watch this. I'm going to close EditPad Pro. There's my random files project, EPP. I double click it, open it up, and all of the files open up together. What a wonderful thing. So if you're editing multiple files together, it doesn't matter where the locations are on your hard disk or on your server, boom, they all come together up and under the project. And you can have multiple projects open too. So if we go up here and we say, hey, here's a new project, boom, notice there's nothing underneath here. Here's the project and the other files. Here's the new project. And let's open some files associated with it. Now here's some log files. Maybe you do analysis on log files or text files, whatever you do, but these are from multiple different different locations on my hard drive. I'm going to click it, say send to EditPad Pro. And there we go. We have the 2 projects with multiple files open each, and we have multiple projects open. And I can go up here and do a project save as well, and call it log file project. And I'll put that on my desktop as well. Click save. And then when we close everything down, we come back over here. There's my log file project. I can open that up. And there's all the files from all the different locations on my hard drive, and they save right back to the original locations. One of the features that I really use a lot is in EditPad Pro is where I want to take content out of multiple different types of different sources, such as the web, PDFs, Excel, all sorts of things, and I like to combine them into one file like in Word. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but this is a feature I like. So I'll come in here and I'll say, I want to put this into a Word document because I want to maybe, I'm writing reports. So I'm going to copy that. And then I go over to Word and I plop it in here. And it doesn't show up the way. And I have the hidden the hidden codes shown as you can see that there's a hard stop right there, carriage return. And I can go in and I can do a delete, but then I have to do that for each one of those. And it becomes quite cumbersome. So this is the feature that I found that I really enjoy in EditPad Pro, and it's kind of weird that I find it there. Go to EditPad Pro, we'll plop this down in there. And notice how it's short here. It doesn't go all the way to the edge. And we go up to convert, and we're going to go to lines, and it says from line breaks to wrapping. Now watch what happens. Boom, it automatically gets those carriage returns out of there. Then now when I copy it, and I bring it back to Word, and I plop it in there, it shows up and there's only one carriage return per paragraph, as you would hope it would be. And that's just a feature that I really, really enjoy. Now another cool feature, I don't use it a lot, but it is a very cool feature. And what it allows you to do is you can actually type in your code into the editor. And it has automatic formatting already built in. So for example, here's a C code, and it's already got the elements highlighted in different ways so you can see what you're doing. Here's C#. Here's a Go sample, doesn't do much there. Here's an HTML. Perl sample, again, not too much there. PHP, R, Java, and I'm not sure exactly what this one is. It looks like a Legacy API, I'm not sure. But anyway, you can do all this formatting, and now the coolest thing about this is that you can, when you go into your options, you can go down to, where did it go? Well, let's see. Looks like I cannot find it. Oh, configure file types. And you can go through and you can pick the different languages that you may be source coding in, and you can actually type in here and start deciding how it works and how it looks. I know it's a little extra work, but it's a really neat feature that allows you to be able to write your script in a free text editor without having the compiler or having to run it in an application right there. We have the HTML. You can go into customize it, and you can start picking the different parts or the code or the tags within the HTML and change it how you want it to look, so on and so forth. I don't use it a lot, but I know that I've shown this to a few of my friends who do coding, and they just love this ability of EditPad Pro to do this. It is a very, very cool feature. Also, notice here in the middle, it says download syntax color schemes. Now, if you have the paid version, this one's the current version, and I just downloaded the demo. It's full featured, except for you can't download the color schemes and the spell checker. But you can click in there and it goes to a web page, and you can download custom codes that other people have set up. So for example, you want to do I don't know, let's look on here, HTML for example, and you notice it doesn't say install. You can do an update but that's it, and not a lot you can do there, but you can download other people's schemas to make it easier, or to have a better tag highlighting when you're doing code. The one that I do really like is when you're in here, you can choose your text document and come in here and customize. And I tend to, for plain text, I actually want to switch these two. So I'd rather go to a black background and a white foreground. And then notice that it automatically picks that up. The other thing is that you can, in here, is like you can click on the next one, and this is selected text. So you can say, hey, I don't really want the background color to be blue, but maybe I want it to be yellow, and the text color to go red. And again, you can check this out. So when we, let's just use this one. So anyway, you can see when you highlight things, it changes it. Again, so you can customize this at your will. It's something that, again, that I think is incredibly powerful for just a text editor when you're used to like WordPad or Notepad. This is just a really advanced features for a text editor. Okay, I'm going to go through each of the menus and kind of look at some of the key features in each of them. And one of the really cool features that if you're using large files, if you're monitoring files that update consistently, like log files, things like that, if you go into File and you'll see that there's a tail, and you hit that and it comes up and it says, okay, what file do you want to look at the tail of? Well, I'm going to go up to my desktop and I have a file that is quite large and it's got over 50,000 records in it. So I'm going to open it and it comes up and it's going to ask me, hey, do you want to load how much of the tail end and how many intervals do you want me to wait to update it? So in other words, if it's a file that updates all the time that you're looking for processes in, this way it does it automatically for you and you don't have to keep hitting refresh or reloading the file every so often. So we're going to go ahead and do that and click OK. And there's the file. And notice we're already down at the bottom of the file. We didn't have to scroll down. We're just there waiting for any updates. Okay, so here's an example of how that tailing works. I have that same exact file up in Excel, and I'm here at the bottom, and I'm just going to type in some data, just so that we know it's my data, and you can tell that it's my data. So there's the data there, and I'm going to save it. Now take a look at this file here first, though. Notice it right under Asia, there's nothing there, okay? That's right under Asia here in the Excel file. And I'm simply going to save it, and we're going to go over here and watch what happens. Takes a second here, and there it is. There's the data from the Excel file. Very, very cool. And the same thing happens if you delete it. If I come over here and I delete this file, or record, and then I go ahead and save it, and I come back over here and it's automatically already updating, reloading that same file, and there it is, the data's gone. Very, very cool in regards to having large files that you're only looking at the ends of. You can customize how you want it to load. And another neat feature that we can look at under the file is, let's say that you've copied something, and I do this often, I don't know about you. And you come up here and you say, okay, oops, it's under edit. And I'm going to say copy. And then I go, oh, I was supposed to copy everything. So having to do a second copy. But hang on, I want to show you something. So here we go. I'm going to come over to Word. I know it's a little choppy here. And I'm going to paste that. Okay. And you can see that on line 9, there's nothing. And then I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to copy this to what I just did, or add it to. So that's the copy append, which is a neat feature. And then we come back over here to Word and we paste, and notice that we had 8 lines first, and now we've got a 24 or 22 lines. So we've got and appended it to what was already there. Very, very cool feature. The other feature with copy is this copy and swap it with what's in the clipboard. So let's take, for example, we have this first section here, and we've copied that. And let's go over, and I'm going to place this in Word just so we can see. And it's down to line 9. And let's say we really meant to copy, or we want to place this here and this into memory. So we're going to highlight this and come up and say edit, and we're going to say, hey, I want to swap with what I just highlighted and put that into memory. And then we'll come back over here and notice that that worked. So in other words, we swapped what was in memory, put it into the file, and then we were able to take this and put it somewhere else if we wanted to. Another cool feature on a text editor. Another neat feature with regards to copy is that when you're looking at, like, for example, code that we have here and it's color coordinated, and you want to copy it and share it with somebody else. So you come in and you say copy. Then we flip over here and you paste it, and it loses. Oops. Let's try this again with an actual copy. And notice that it is simply text. There's no color coordination there. It lost all of that color coordination to that. Well, the text editor has an option for that. If you switch on the copy as HTML, it is just an on-off. And then you copy this data, what it's going to do is it copies it with all of the coloring that goes with it the best it can. So it copies the HTML tags behind it. And if you copy it into an editor that can handle that, it automatically will keep the formatting for you. The copy RTF does the same thing as HTML. So you have both of those options. The HTML is nice because it takes the code with it. Now another thing with regards to copy is the copy append and even the cut append. It's kind of a cool feature. So if you've copied something then you realize you want to add something to it without having to recopy everything, you can just copy what you need, or if they're from different areas of your file. But anyway, just to give you an idea how that works. So I'm going to copy, say, this first line here, or let's say take the first two, and I'm going to choose copy. And I'm going to go to my file and I'll paste it. Boom, there it is. 2 files. 2. Now, if I come over here and I say, hey, I want to copy append the rest of this, I'm going to come up and choose Edit, Copy Append, and I'll flip back over to my file. And I have not just what I had before, but I have all of them. So it's kind of a cool feature. The nice thing too is cut append. Same exact thing. You're just going to take the data rather than just copy it. Here's a cool feature for developers is, check this out. You're typing in HTML. Oops, let me just do this. All right. And then we've got, say you're going to do a table. Then you've got a table row. And table data. Now here's a cool thing. Sometimes in tables you can get lost if they're intricate. But check this out. If you hit Control, Shift, and back bracket, it puts in the corresponding ending bracket for you. And the nice thing is that you go to the next one, you don't have to tell it. Hit that Control, Shift, and back bracket, and it puts it in for you. Hit Enter, go to the next one, do the same thing. It puts in the ending bracket for you. And boom, there you are. How cool is that? In addition to that feature, you have auto match brackets. In other words, it's going to match it automatically for you. So if you're the person that likes to type in the end tag immediately so you don't forget it, this is a cool feature. So we can type in, for example, well, let's go back up here and make this another table. Notice how it automatically puts in the table tag for you, and then you can proceed on down as you want. And so we can put in table row, automatically puts it in for you. And we can put in table data, it automatically puts it in for you. So how cool is that for putting in tags in your programming files? Another simple feature, but I think it's amazing for a text editor because I don't see it often, especially in Notepad. Again, if you go to the edit, you can do an insert date and time and wonder where that went to. Let's try it again. Do insert date and time. Kind of a cool feature. And notice it's text. It is not a field. And again, something that I haven't seen in text editors, but again, it's a feature, you might have seen it before, is insert page break. You can actually see it. So there's a lot of word processing features, and even better than word processing features because they're meant for technical people, that you can use within EditPad Pro. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate some of the search features here, and I'm going to add a new file here. And I just copied a bunch of data from my Word over, and I'm going to put it here into EditPad Pro just so we can have a large arena of text to search through. But take a look at this when I do this, is that it comes up and it tells me that I have some characters that aren't ASCII 2, and it tells me to select convert text, and I'm trying to paste, and it says they've been replaced with question marks. And so it says go to convert and then choose what I want to convert, and I say thank you. Now, I'm wondering where these question marks are. It's a long file. It's a very long file. So I go into my search. Actually, let's do this. Go into my search, and I'm going to type in a question mark. Then I want it to list all the matches and count them. It tells me there was 13 of them, and here's the cool, or excuse me, it lists them, and you notice that those look like hyperlinks, and they are. So if I double click on 42, it takes me down to where that question mark is. I click on 21, it takes me to where that question mark is, and see how it highlights it, and so on and so forth. Just a unique feature that is in an editor, a text editor, that provides a convenience that you would not expect. Now, how's this for a cool feature? You wonder how many times you used a word in a particular application. So go up here and you double click on it, and boom, it shows you all the different places you use that word. I'm always curious of how many times I use that word. Now here's a neat feature, is double clicking on it takes it away, but that highlights it, and you can drag that word down to the search box here and then use its features. For example, count all the matches, and boom, it tells me I used the word goal 56 times in my application or in my file. And I say thanks. Here's another cool feature that I don't think you find in many places. It's called fold. If you're working with a document that stuff just seems to get in the way, or it makes it a longer file and you don't need it. So like for example in this HTML file, I just want to get this form out of the way. So I'm going to go up to fold, and I'm going to say fold, and look what it automatically does is that it folds it up, puts it a check marks off to the left, and you can click to see it and then click it to minimize it. Same thing here with this selection. Bring it down, you can choose fold, and boom, it makes the file much easier to work with and edit. Here's another cool feature for editors, is that you can bookmark places within the document. So if you're searching for something and you find it and you're like, I need to double check, or I need to go back and check something else in regards to this, you can actually go up to mark, and choose set bookmark. And notice it puts a 1 next to it. And let's say you're going down here again and you're looking, you find something unique that you want to get back to. You can click on the line and choose mark, and then set bookmark 2, and so on and so forth. And you can set all these different bookmarks. It looks like you can do up to what, 10 of them. 3. Now, let's just say you've gone back home, right? And you want to find them. So you can go up to mark and you can say, and it lists them right here, that whole line. So you can go to them and automatically find them without having to go scrolling back through your entire document. And you probably noticed on the menu there is that you can actually move the bookmark if you want to. So if you can put it in the wrong place, and we can remove all bookmarks in one click rather than having to do them singly. Now, a feature that you can use in combination with the bookmark is this selection. Take a look at, let's go to mark, and let's say go to our first bookmark, and then we're going to choose block, and it's going to say let's go ahead and begin the selection, and our selection is going to go to our second bookmark, and then we just simply choose block and selection, and now we can do copy it, duplicate it, edit it, whatever you want to do with it. You've been able to automatically select that without having to do that drag, that monotonous drag where you accidentally let go. This automatically does it for you using the bookmark selection. Here's a cool use of macros, marks, bookmarks, and selection. So if we go into macros, think about that. You can make a macro in a text editor. We're going to choose record macro, give it a name, select bookmark, and give it a unique name of some sort. It replaces something I already have, which is fine. Click OK, and then we're going to go down and find our bookmark 1, and I'm scrolling like crazy. I just want it to be here in the middle somewhere, And we're going to come up here and choose block or mark, I'm sorry. Choose set bookmark 1. There it is. And we'll go down a bit further. And we're going to choose mark, bookmark 2. Then we can go back to our beginning. And we're going to say mark. And we're going to say go to our first one. And then we'll go to our block and say begin selection. Then we'll go to our mark and we'll go to our second one. And then we'll choose block and we'll say end selection, and boom, it automatically selects things. But that's not even the coolest part. Check this out. With your macro, we're done. So we'll go ahead and we'll say stop recording. Now we have this second macro stopping on line 119,000 or 11,935, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to mark, choose remove all bookmarks, and from there let's just randomly go down the page, and we'll stop here and we'll choose, that's at 15,540. We'll choose mark, bookmark 1. Then we can scroll down a little bit further, maybe around to 20,000, and we'll choose mark, select bookmark 2. Now, here's the cool thing. When you go up to run your macro, there it is, Alt-Z, we click select and it automatically selects where bookmark 1 and bookmark 2 are. Doesn't matter where they are. They just select between 1 and 2, and that's what it knows. In a word editor, in a text editor, check this out, under extra, you have access to a spell checker. Now I have the demo version. I haven't upgraded to the newest version. So to get it though, you need to have the purchased version. But still you have a spell checker in a text editor. Very impressive, and it's a decent one too. Here's another cool feature that is in EditPad Pro. If you go to extras again, and you can sort a list alphabetically from A to Z, Z to A, or even alphanumerically if you like. But I thought this was a cool feature, because sometimes you do get lists like you see here of just names, or you get names and numbers in your fields. But let's do this and check it out. So we automatically sort that, and then I put in a block, and we are going to mark, and we are going to go to, okay, very interesting. That was very interesting. Okay, but there you go. Automatically sorted it into alpha. Alphanumerically is what I was going to say, but I knew it was wrong, so I stuttered. But alphabetically, it does it automatically for you. I don't know if you're like me, but every once in a while, have you ever gotten a text file, and it's delimited, but there's white space in it, or there's spaces in the beginning like this one is here? And then when you go to the end, so that when you copy this information into a spreadsheet, for example, it doesn't format correctly, especially with numbers, and you want to get rid of that. Instead of having to go to each one and go into backspace, here's a cool feature again that EditPad Pro puts in it. You can highlight the text, go up to extras, and you can say trim white space. I'm going to do this in 3 processes just to show you. So you can say, hey, trim the leading white spaces. Boom, those are gone. And if you look here at the very end, there's some spaces after the number here. There's some spaces there, and we want to get rid of that too, because once it's pasted in, it's going to take the spaces with it. So we'll go up here to extras and choose trim trailing white spaces, and boom, those are gone. So a nice way to conveniently format your information. And then we're going to go back and do this, and then here's the thing. You're going to say auto trim white space. Give it a second, and then choose trim white space. So you want to do both at the same time. Go up to extras, choose trim white space, and boom, done. Now here's another convenient item. Notice that there's white space between these, and there might be some white space also. Let's just put a couple in here somewhere else. Okay, you've got white space in there. Check this out. Go up to extras, and it says consolidate blank lines. Try it again. Well, in satellite blank lines, that means multiples to 1. Let's choose, how about let's do delete blank lines. Check that out. Now I know Excel has those functions, but for a text editor, again, what a convenient way to be able to format your data. Okay, we're going to look at the view menu here, and there's a few options in here that I really like. And one of them is that you can split the editor either vertically or horizontally. I like to do it vertically. And in addition to that, what you can do is you click on your view and you can choose how you want to browse through it. From joint scrolling, you can choose fixed gap, joint without gap, and you can click on that, and then as you scroll, they scroll together so you can evaluate different versions of the same file possibly. Thought that was kind of cool. And we'll take that off, split editor. Now another cool thing, and I know I used the word cool a lot, but I do like them, is that you can, remember we said a project can pull up files, like say you go search for a bunch of files like log files and they're all over your computer or all over your server, and you can pull them up at once under project. And you may say, hey, well, I want to know where those files actually are. And so what they do is they offer you that ability is that you can choose what's called the files panel. When you pull that up, it automatically lists where those files are that you have up. And it has both projects that are up. So it has my HTML samples here, as you can see, and it has my log files over here. So you can see where those go. Now, if you just want to search for a file without having to leave the editor, they offer that too. You can go to that view again and choose File Navigator. Explorer panel. And the Explorer panel is just like looking at a directory on your computer, and it lists everything you have, and you can just simply roam through it at will. And then there's one feature that I think is very, very sweet. Notice I use sweet instead of cool. If you click on View, it's called File Navigator. Now what File Navigator does, it's kind of like the navigation panel in Word, is that it looks at your file and you can actually create this under, let me show you where it is real quick, is under extras, under options, and you go into configure file types. When you go into here, and navigation over here, you can customize that and get it to work how you want to. I don't use it a lot, but I do think this is kind of neat. So let's go over to our HTML file samples, okay? And take a look at it. It shows that head and body, right? Then if you click on it, it shows up the other tags and the other tags and so on and so forth. Now here's the neat thing is it's also a navigation panel, such as Navigator. So if you click on this P, it takes you to that P. If you click on this center, it takes you to the center, to the particular tag. So you can actually move around your document very quickly and easily, especially if it's a large document, using the File Navigator and having that set up. The last feature I'd like to share with you is just the help. I think it's amazing, it's simple, and I just thought I'd show that to you, is that when you take a look at your help, I like the way it's done. It's done the same as the menus. You go into the menu, for example, under View, it lists all the different options underneath there. For example, that's where I was learning about the File Navigator, and it takes you into there, and it gives you an idea of how to do it. It gives you other links, and you have your other links, or your other links to options underneath the View menu here, and you can go to each one, and it does it, and it's set up just like it is in the application itself, which I think is less confusing because you can go, oh yeah, I want to know what's under New, or I want to know what's under Favorites, so on and so forth. It's very simple. Well, that's it for me, guys. This is Leland Bartlett with Ripboard Training and Consulting. I hope you found the video informative, educational, and useful. As always, I'm not sponsored by EditPad Pro or any other organizations for the contents of this video. My goal is to share information with you I have found to be useful, with the hopes that you will find value in it as well. So until next time, take care.